This is Stars and Scopes with your friend Uma, updated every new and full moon with guidance based on planetary transits in the current sky and extra support from tarot. For accuracy, take a look at your rising sign first if you know it, and do feel free to listen to your sun, moon and rising if you'd like the full picture. If you're interested in your birth chart, check out the readings page at umaruby.com. And if you'd like to support the work, head over to buymeacoffee.com/umaruby and you can buy me a coffee. Finally, if you're a visual learner, look up Uma Ruby Tarot on YouTube and you can watch and learn. Okay, let's take a look. Hello Capricorn and Capricorn Rising, welcome to your horoscope for the full moon in Aries happening on October the 10th at 7:55 a.m. if you're in the southern hemisphere with me. So that's a Monday. So Sunday night, this Sunday night will be the ideal time to engage in your lunar rituals, your lunar spells. There's going to be a great deal for you to release and to move through and past and beyond in terms of your fourth house, Capricorn, your home, your roots, your ancestry, your access to privacy and stability, that sort of portal into what can be perceived as a happy home, whatever that means to you. There's so much support astrologically. There's some great relationships with a great bunch of planets that have been in maybe not difficulty, but definitely there's been problems there. But what I see for you is almost like, it's like a victory march is what I see. I really feel that you've been listening or in company with, in support with someone who is quite vibrant and quite passionate about you, is what I see here for you, Capricorn. This relationship, this connection, this friendship, this whatever it is, you tell me, but this influence in your experience has you in a really healthy, calming, beautiful, optimistic and hopeful state of mind to usher in this Aries full moon that's going to be lighting up your sense of ancestry and roots and home and family, all of those things. This relationship's going to help you let go of what you don't need anymore, to kiss it back to the moon, to write it down, set it on fire and have a dance, have a glass of wine, have a sing and a cry. This Plutonian energy that you and I have been discussing for all of these horoscopes is in activation again. So Pluto, the planet, has been retrograde for the past 5 months or so, which is not unusual. They spend about half the year in retrograde because of their far out position. But this means that over the next time, the final degrees of Pluto are going to be triggered by, the final degrees of Capricorn are going to be triggered by Pluto. So there's going to be a reckoning in those final degrees. And then next year, Pluto will gently enter Aquarius, then retrograde back into Capricorn for the final messages, and then move forward from there. So there's something structural that's being disseminated here. There's something, think about what you know of Capricorn. Think about the order and the routine and the rhythm and the expertise, the structural foundation of Capricorn. This is what a lot of the other zodiac signs can rely on a Capricorn is for that scaffolding. Pluto in those final degrees is bringing it on home, is rejigging and disseminating those structures, those old structures perhaps that we've been maybe reliant on as a collective. On your individual path, it could be, as we said before, something to do with your soul's destiny or your identity. I feel that you're being guided into a space, into an area that asks you, are you going to live a life half-lived, Capricorn? I think that I've said that to you before, and it's coming up again. And for good, beautiful, hopeful cause. I love this card now. Thank you to Julia Inglis, my tarot teacher. Thank you, Julia, for reminding me that the Judgment card is not something to be frightened of. The Judgment card asks you, are you going to live a life half-lived? Because you can, and that's completely fine. That's perfect. If your scaffolding means so much to you, and that's how you regulate, and that's how you find comfort and emotional regulation, that's completely for you, Capricorn. I don't suspect for a moment that you should upset the apple cart if it's working. I'm just curious because Judgment tells us as well, it reminds us not to forget the silver life, which is another expression from Julia. The silver life being your magical capabilities, your access to magic, your access to your witch. In a lot of ways, I feel that this individual, this presence in your life, this newfound connection, this person that does have an access to their magic that maybe you've fallen in line with recently, and maybe they don't know it as well. It doesn't have to be so literate as someone who is, a spellcaster or anything like that. It could just be someone that you find really their company is really healing because they are so confident in the way that they express themselves. That could be something too, because Capricorns can sometimes have a difficult time expressing themselves, can't they? So this relationship, this connector point to your silver life is what I really see quite clearly here for you, Capricorn. And it has got a lot to do with revolutionizing the idea of roots, of home, of that structure. Home looks very different to you now, doesn't it? And that's all right. Ancestry might look very different to you now, and that's okay too. Security and privacy might look different to you, and that's great. I think that there's probably something to work with at this Aries full moon, is to remember how in line you are and how confident and direct, and how you have a second sense, a sixth sense. Second sight, I was going to say. Sixth sense for knowing what a good home looks like. And probably a space that you're willing and able and ready to provide for other folks too. No matter what your lineage was like, no matter what your ancestry held, no matter what no matter what fourth house was offered to you through your work and through your diligence and your experience of life, Capricorn, you know very well what a fourth house should look like. And that's the Aries in you. So I think that it's such a lovely reading, I got to say. You got some really big cards, well, two really big cards, two major secrets, two major arcana, one after the other. Because after that moment of asking, which path will you choose? Which direction will you go? Will it be the silver life, or will it be the scaffolding? And whichever way you decide to go, Capricorn, you're being celebrated by Spirit right now. They're telling you, well done. What a beautiful job you've done so far. What a beautiful job to this very point, this moment, this full moon in Aries. Your life can be looked back on with such high regard. You've done such a fabulous, fabulous job thus far. And look at all that beautiful space and hope and optimism for the future. Pluto is not an easy planet, and you've done very, very well to manage it and to come out on the other side as somebody else. That rebirth had to happen, Capricorn. I want to make mention of, there's a lovely triangulation between Saturn in Aquarius and Mars in Gemini and the Sun in Libra. So remember that Libra is your public self. It's how you're most publicly, generally perceived. It can be your career as well. Venus is in there too. Venus loves it in Libra. Venus loves, finds the beauty in harmony, the beauty in music, in right relationship. So that energy mixing with the sun and beaming its light down in supportive aspect to Saturn, sense of boundaries in the second for you. So in your talents, your skills, your access to material abundance. And in Gemini, which is your creativity, your self-expression, there's a nice relationship that I can see here, Capricorn. There's that fire that I can see, that sort of drive that you have in something's got to give. Something's got to give, and it's being supported by what you know of boundaries, by what you know of rhythm and routine, maybe. Ultimately, what this is saying to me, this trifecta, this sort of like three-pointed relationship, is just an extra helping of love at this lunation when it comes to your fourth house, and it comes to maybe some of the more difficult things that you might need to let go of in that space, in home. The activation here is happening in what you know best. The 2nd, the 10th, the 6th. It's the practical side of life. So there's right relationship that's happening. Here we go. There's right relationship that's happening in your physical space. So as far as your money, as far as your health, as far as your career, that's all being really supported, and it's being supported by boundaries. It's being supported by a tempered flame, a tempered fire. That sort of idea of knowing what to spend your fuel on is really being highlighted here. And it's going to, that side of life seems to be going quite well. So when it comes to this moment of release, when it comes to this moment of potential, like it's full moons are very emotional. Remember that, like the moons move the tides. They've got such power over bodies of water. And what are we? We're just bodies of water. So you might be feeling a bit emotional. There might be some stuff that comes up about your ancestry or your home life at this Aries full moon that has you feeling a bit raw, a bit emotional. I think I bring up this trine between Saturn, Mars, and the Sun to remind you of the solidity of your practical nature, your here and now, the physical self. That might be regulating for a Capricorn too. I thought I'd bring that up. Yeah, because it's really it's quite quite a profound shift that you're going through, Capricorn. So much has changed, so much is moving, and you're in right relationship with someone, whoever this is representing for you, whoever this fire child is for you. When I say that, you'll know who I mean. You're in right relationship, and your physical life right here, right now, is in good shape and in good support. So maybe allow some of that water to move at this full moon, because I sense that there might be some difficulty, there might be some melancholy that arises around the fourth, around home, roots, stability, family. But remember that a full moon's the chance to let it go. So yeah, maybe feel secure, feel that your physical world, your practical world, your tangible world is in good shape and in good order. So maybe that might provide you with a moment to let some of that water move. You're a magical one, Capricorn. It's written all over this reading and all over this chart. I love you very much. Do head over to umaruby.com and get yourself a birth chart reading. I am going to be writing a soul guidance session at some point over the next month. I've had multiple clients ask for return sessions and what they might look like. So if after I've read your chart initially, then I'm going to be writing this journey. You know, it could be to do with the transits, it could be to do with questions you have. It might be worth you actually sending some of them in as well. That would be a really great thing for me to understand what the next pathway might be for you. If I've read for you before, if I've not read for you, then by all means pick from the menu. I would suggest the spirit reading. It's the most popular one, and it seems to be the one with great insight in the hour and a half. I love you very much, and I'm going to be back with you in 2 weeks for the solar eclipse in Scorpio, which is quite a moment, a short circuit, lesson from the universe for us all to sit with and allow whatever happens to happen. So for you, Scorpio, I believe is your 11th house. So as far as community and humanity and your sense of the greater good, there will be some changes that happen there. I wonder if I can help salve them. I'm going to have a little think about and might start preparing these readings now, because I want to make sure that I'm laying on my back with a cocktail come eclipse season. I don't want to attempt to intervene in any way. Okay, much love to you, Capricorn. You take care. Bye.